Welcome to the Zandbergen Report, where wealth strategies and investment wisdom collide, featuring your distinguished host and certified financial planner, Bart Zandbergen.
Welcome to the Zandbergen Report, a showcase for wealth strategies and investment wisdom that's essential for our evolving world. I'm your host, Bart Zandbergen, and as usual, in studio today, we have our engineer, Paul. Paul, haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. How are you?
I'm doing good, and as usual, I'm salivating at today's topic.
Well, as our listeners know, the show is typically a financial show, which is, very near and dear to my heart. But beyond finances, there's a couple other things that are dear to my heart, and Paul knows wine is one of those things, and fitness is one of those things, but very, very close to the top is cars, or our cars, and automobiles, especially very, very special cars. So with that, I have a very special guest today, Tyler Lee with Pagani Automobilia. Tyler,
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
So, boy, I don't almost even know where to begin. Let's first tell people what Pagani is. There's probably somebody out there that doesn't know what Pagani cars are. So you want to start with that, and then I'm going to get into your really cool background.
Yeah, sure. Of course. So Paganis are a very bespoke hypercar that is limited to 100 in production. So for Huayra Coupe models, 100, Huayra Roadster, 100, Huayra BC, 100. Or, sorry, that's incorrect.
Yeah.
Less than that, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you say 100, just so we're clear, that they make 100 a year, or they make 100 total, and then they go to a new model?
They make 100 total and then go to a new model.
Okay. Okay.
So I believe the U.S. has around 30 to 40 of that 100.
Yeah.
And then it's distributed to different parts of the world.
So how many Paganis total in the U.S. today, roughly?
Roughly
A couple
a
hundred?
little more than 40.
More than 40?
A little more than 40.
40 cars.
Little more than 40.
Paul, is there one in your garage, Paul?
I have two.
Two.
Can I just say, I looked this up on Wikipedia quickly. It says
Yeah.
base price of $1.1 million. This is the how do you say this?
Huayra.
Huayra, Huayra by Pagani.
Yes.
And it was named Hypercar of the Year in 2012 by Top Gear magazine.
So let's define for our listeners, in the old days, anything that wasn't a sedan was a sports car, kind of.
Yeah.
And then we got into supercars, and now we have hypercars. So,
we have hypercars,
Tyler,
yeah.
tell the cutoff or the definition of each?
Well, different people have different definitions.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back and forth. But for me, a supercar is high horsepower, a lot of modern technology, modern materials, but the price point and the production numbers the price point is lower, like less than $1 million.
Okay.
And the production numbers are a lot higher.
Okay.
Hypercars are typically very limited in production.
Yeah.
The absolute best materials, absolute best craftsmanship. A lot of hypercars are hand built at that stage, and that kind of makes them almost one-off. I mean, they are very individual.
So each car is somewhat unique in itself, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So every one is, even though the model and the exterior and the engine and everything is the same, but they're all totally designed totally different. They all seem to have their own characteristics, and I think that's what makes hypercars so special.
Well, one of the reasons I was so excited about having you here is I've seen the car a few times. I was at, Paul mentioned it earlier, at the Concours d'Elegance in Pebble Beach.
Yes,
saw one there.
We were out there.
And then I saw you at the airport hangar show a couple of months ago that Colin was doing, our mutual friend. But before we get more into the car, I think your story is kind of interesting because you're I don't know how old you are. I won't make you say it, but you're a pretty young man, and you're working for a hypercar company. That means you get to touch these cars every day. Yeah. Tell us about your enthusiasm. I mean, I assume you must have had an enthusiasm for cars, and then how you ended up working for Pagani.
Yeah, it's kind of a long journey, but I'll try to sum it up so I don't ramble on too much. Well, I'm originally actually from Portland, Oregon. Okay. So
not too many Paganis there.
Not too many.
Train.
Yeah. I just got into cars. I got like a 93 Honda Civic SI, and I was into like, all the street racing stuff back in the day. So that was, kind of how I got my start into cars. And from there, learning to modify them and hanging out with car friends and going to car meetings and things like that. And from there, I kind of, I got more into drifting. And so I traded up my Civic for a Nissan 240SX, turned into a drift car, did that thing for a little bit.
Yeah. What's a drift car? I don't know what a drift car is.
A drift car is, it's basically a rear-wheel drive car that you change some parts on, differential, suspension, so you can get the rear end to slide a little bit, and it's controlling the car while it's sliding sideways. In a nutshell.
Controlling the car.
Paul cannot comprehend this
while it's driving sideways. Okay.
While it's driving sideways, yeah.
I may stop this once or twice along the way here.
Yeah, so what's the, what movies does he need to see Fast and Furious? No, there's a
Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift.
That's the one that most people
Paul,
know,
look it up. Tokyo Drift.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I wasn't that good.
Drifting. Okay, all right. I used to do that as a kid on ice, but that was just by accident.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Yeah. Practice. But yeah, so, I did that for a little bit, and then it was, kind of my dream to be in the auto industry, and for me to do that, there really wasn't that platform or anywhere to do that in Oregon at that time. So it was all here in California, California car culture, all the automotive businesses are here. So I just packed up everything and said, okay, this is what I want to do, and I moved down here.
No job? No, just packed up and
no job.
Stories.
No job. I lived with my dad for a little bit, and then finally got a job. Worked some, odd random jobs just to pay the bills, and then moved to Orange County, and because that's where a lot of these manufacturers and aftermarket companies were. So moved to Orange County, got a job, again needed another job, so I had to pay bills. So I started working at a auto parts store.
Okay.
And from there I basically picked up a magazine, and I said, okay, if I want to do this, like I don't even know where to start. So I just grabbed my car magazine, went to all the ads in the car magazine, and called every single one that was in Orange County, and just basically knocked on their door and said, hey, do you have any jobs? I'm willing to work. I'm willing to do what I got to do. Let me know. And got a lot of, sorry, we're not hiring, that kind of thing. But then one company decided, hey, maybe we are going to have a position. Maybe. So I was like, okay, well, it's something.
You're not saying no.
Yeah, you're not saying no. I'll take the maybe. Yeah. So I am not joking when I say this. I called them every single day for a whole month.
I love that.
Until they were able to give me some sort of answer.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is my only foot in the door so far. It's like, I got to take it. So I hounded them for a while, and then they got back to me and said, yeah, we are going to have a position, but, we want to have an interview first. I said, okay, sure, no problem. And got the interview. From there, I got the job. I did everything from sweeping the warehouse, cleaning the cars, packaging all the... It was a Japanese body kit company called Sea West. And so I was working there, and, just doing everything, wearing many, many hats, doing what I could. And I did that for about a year and a half. Time to move on. Yeah. Tried to find something else.
Now you got some experience.
I got some experience. Yeah. And I actually got quite a bit from that. I worked with a lot of racing teams.
Okay.
Formula Drift is one of the events that we did. Learned about events. Learned about a lot of marketing stuff from there too. And so from there, I transitioned into trying to find something else again, and it wasn't automotive related, and I stuck with it because I got decent pay, but I wasn't happy. Yeah. So I was kind of out of the car scene for a while, and then I met some friends that were into cars, new friends, and we wanted to kind of start our own company. So we're like, okay, what are we going to do, you know?
Yeah.
So at that time, you know, Instagram was getting really big and Facebook was really big. So we were like, well, let's do like a automotive media company and kind of have our own events and things.
Yeah.
So he drifted back into it.
Oh,
Oh. Where's the rim shot?
I think he has one.
You have one, you have a sound effect. So, but yeah, so there it is. So, yeah, so we started this company called Car Ninja, and we just, you know, kind of grassroots promoted it. We put stickers on our cars. We went to every car meet, every show. People started talking about us, and then we just started to grow organically, locally here in SoCal, and then from there, people on the East Coast knew about us somehow. Nissan corporate knew about us. I have friends in Japan that still have the stickers on their cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
And what were you doing? What did Car Ninja do?
that's the ultimate question.
Yeah.
People ask us all the time.
So what I'm asking, right?
Well,
you put stickers out and everybody knew you. What did you do?
Oh,
Yes.
they're ninja. You're not supposed to know.
you're not
Supposed to know. Okay, all right.
Can't reveal all the secrets. No, so it was like a media company. So we covered events. We did our own events, kind of a lot of automotive coverage from all sorts of events all over the globe. We had people that would submit stuff too that.
And
we worked with.
and then you would put that in your social media and not advertise, but expose those events.
Correct. Yeah. So, and from there, you know, it lasted a while, but it kind of fizzled out because some of the guys moved off.
Yeah.
And so we, you know, we still have it, but it's just kind of on the back burner.
Yeah.
But from there, I was like, okay, no, I need another job again. So through that, I met a lot of good people that I networked with, and one of them gave me a job at Irvine BMW. I worked there for about a year and a half, maybe a year. And
Sales?
no, actually social media and photography.
Oh.
So that's kind of my thing too, is photography, taking
Okay.
pictures. And from there, I again was like, okay, I got to find something different. This just isn't working. And went to another job, didn't work out. So I was like, okay, I need to figure something out.
Yeah.
Rent's due. I've spent a lot of my savings. You know, fire's lit under me.
Yeah.
So I got to get out there and do it. So I contacted my friend at Lamborghini Newport Beach, Cedric. He did the marketing at that time, who now actually works for Bugatti corporate.
Okay.
So that's good to know.
Yeah.
And then from there, he basically said, well, we don't have anything, but call these guys at Iluso.
Okay.
I said, okay. So I called them, and again, called till I got an interview.
Yeah.
Got an interview, got the job, started working there for a few months, and then they said, hey, can you come here for a second? I said, yeah, sure. I'm like, man, I've only been here for 2 months.
You're
Like,
fireman
what's
already?
now? Yeah. So I was kind of nervous, and they said, no. They said, I just want to let you know, like, we got the Pagani franchise. We're going to have the first standalone dealership in Southern California, actually the U.S.,
Yeah.
and it's going to be in Newport Beach. And I was just, like, speechless.
Yeah.
Already Pagani was, like, my favorite brand,
Yeah.
car brand, and for that to happen, I didn't even know what to say.
Died and gone
But
to heaven.
they were, yeah. So they were like, "You're going to be very busy." And I said, "Oh, no problem. Let's do it." So,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Great.
it.
That there's a lot of perseverance there, which I think is a great character trait and a great
Oh, thank
story.
you.
All right. So now you're at Pagani. You've been there how long?
About 2 years now, I think.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are you doing? Mostly marketing for them?
Yeah.
Or
So
you wear a lot of hats?
for the dealership, I do So we have Pagani Newport Beach and Pagani Beverly Hills. Both are standalone stores.
Mhm.
So I do the marketing, social media, photography, events, kind of everything.
Yeah.
Again, many hats,
Yeah.
but a lot of branding too, to try to
Yeah.
get the name to be a little more synonymous than
Yeah.
what is that?
Right.
That looks cool. What is that?
You know,
So-
unless you're a car guy, people aren't going to know. I mean,
That's-
there's 40 in the United States.
Right. That's the hurdle, but I think that's
Right.
kind of the fun challenge of it.
All right, so let's get now we've got that, which is a great story, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about the cars, since there are so few. Why are they so great?
They're all hand built.
How long does it take?
It depends on the car. Like some people go way out there with their customizations.
Yeah.
Some people are very.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Are they all custom ordered or
all custom ordered?
Okay.
So you would sit down with whoever is the salesperson at the dealership, and you kind of you'll go through it and pick what you want, and then if you really want to get serious about customization, then the factory would help you out with that and make sure everything's perfect.
If Paul wanted to add a third Pagani to his garage, he couldn't just go to the dealership and drive one home. He'd have to go and order one.
We do,
unless you have a used one.
We do have used ones.
Okay, you're in luck, Paul.
Good. I'm picking up at a deal.
We do have some used ones, but they
probably don't have many miles on them. I mean, is this a car that people put? They don't put 50,000 miles on. They put 500 miles on it or something.
That it really depends on the owner. We have a lot of owners that drive their cars a lot. We have some owners that are total collectors and barely drive it. Yeah. So it's everything, in between. But seeing them all together on the road is pretty special.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
When I looked at it, I didn't touch it. But it looks like there's maybe a lot of carbon fiber. Is the body all carbon fiber?
Yes. So the body's all carbon fiber, and the monocoque shell is made out of carbo titanium. So it's carbon fiber with titanium woven in.
It makes it stronger.
A lot stronger, more rigidity.
Yeah.
Lightweight as well. So you have the strength with the weight reduction.
Okay. All right, I'm going to challenge you here. All right, as I've told you before, although I love your brand, but I'm a Porsche guy, and all my friends and listeners know that.
Okay.
So the Porsche 918.
Okay.
Compared to Pagani, what's they're in the same price range, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Horsepower, I haven't done any
what are 918s going for? Do you remember?
On the used market right now?
Yeah.
1.5.
1.5. Oh, Pagani's still a little bit more. Still a little bit more.
But horsepower, handling, any comparisons?
Well, I think, to me, they're two different cars. So you have, the hybrid.
The hybrid of the 918, yeah.
It's totally different, totally different beast.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the videos of the 918 taking off and smoking everybody. So
I've been in one, taking off.
They're crazy.
That's crazy.
They're a crazy car. But I think it's a totally different car.
Okay.
Porsche also has a long racing heritage.
Yeah, that's true.
So they have a lot of that behind them. Pagani focuses a lot on, yes, it's fast, but at the same time,
aesthetics.
It's also beautiful.
Yeah.
Not to say Porsche's not beautiful, but
careful.
But I think that there's a lot of customization and things that Pagani focuses on over, say, a 918 typically would.
Is there a little more history on Pagani? Is there a Mr. Pagani? Is he the designer? And,
there is, yes.
And what's his history? Did he work for another car company before?
Yeah, so a long time ago, he worked for Lamborghini.
Okay.
And he designed a special edition Countach. And at that time, they were working with different materials, and that's when carbon fiber really wasn't a common material used in cars. And he started to use it and believed in it and wanted Lamborghini to basically start using these on the cars.
Yeah.
And said, we have to invest in this. This is like the future.
Yeah.
And at that time, they were basically saying, well, if Ferrari's not doing it, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
So I know they were, Lamborghini and Ferrari have always had that rivalry. So, so they just kind of didn't believe in him. And so he said, okay, and wanted to start his own car company, do his own thing.
Yeah.
So he got a loan, got some autoclaves to create his own carbon fiber, and started selling that to different companies. From there, he learned a lot about materials and design and everything, and created his first car, which is the Zonda.
Okay.
So,
what year was that? You need Paul?
No, I just had a quick question. I'm just wondering, you're mentioning Lamborghini and Ferrari. We all know that.
Right.
Bugatti obviously makes another supercar, the Veyron. I'm wondering, and this car, Pagani, Pagani, I don't think we've said this is an Italian company like all the others. I think you kind of went around that.
Yeah.
Why are all these super hypercar manufacturers, there are a couple Germans as well, like you said, Königsberg or wherever that is. I think that's Swedish or something, actually. But most of them are in Italy. Why?
I don't know. It's known as Motor Valley in Modena, which is where Pagani's located.
Oh, yeah?
So, Ferrari's there, Lamborghini's there.
Yeah.
Pagani, Maserati. So it's kind of, I guess it's kind of like their Detroit in a way.
Okay.
So it's kind of like just where the cars are built.
So what year did the Pagani company start?
1993 or 94.
And when did they start making cars back then?
Yeah, so they made cars, but it was only for Europe, Asia, the rest of the world except for the U.S.
Yeah.
And then in, I believe, 2011, 2012 timeframe is when the Huayra first came out in the U.S. market. It was the first Pagani to be legal in the U.S.
Yeah.
So from then on, that's the car that kind of started it all for.
So I thought it was much more recent. I've only been exposed to them in the last few years, so I didn't realize they went back that far.
Yeah.
When you said Countach, I was thinking back. Countach was late 80s?
I think so, yeah.
Right? And so we went from, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
It says here, Horacio Pagani formerly managed Lamborghini's composite department and founded Pagani Composite Research in 1988. So he started making the research and the fiber components.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, the car later,
Yep.
All right, so there's a, you and I talked about it the other day, so I'm going to tell you the rumor again.
Okay.
So the rear view mirrors on the side of cars are very beautiful, and it looks like a woman's eye. And the rumor on the street is that those are the shape of his wife's eyes. So true or false? Urban myth?
Don't know if it's actually his wife.
His girlfriend?
Could be. No.
Ouch.
A woman's eye.
A woman's eye.
So yeah, I've heard woman's eye.
Okay.
The wife has a better story to it, though. That sounds
but
cool.
never verified that he's actually shaped those after a woman's eyes, or it's just could be coincidental.
He did.
Oh, he did
on
okay.
purpose. Yeah, because a lot of his design work comes from his passion for Leonardo da Vinci. And
that would make sense.
His method is kind of taking art and science and putting it together that they can like kind of live in harmony in one thing. So that's where he has the beauty, and then he has the technology and science and the materials and everything like that. So
and then the beast of the engine.
Exactly.
And underneath, do they make their own transmissions and engines and stuff, or is it all they're just sourcing it from other places?
Yeah, they don't do any in-house engine building. All that's done through AMG with their partnership with Mercedes AMG, and only a few technicians, and one is actually quite famous for making the engine. But there's actually a division at AMG that's only for the Pagani engine. So.
But we didn't get to it. So what is the horsepower? Maybe it varies on the different model, but roughly.
It does.
Is it in the 700, 800, 900?
Yeah. So the coupe is about 700. The Roadster's 734, and the BC, which is more the hardcore race kind of model, is under 800.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
On the website, it says this is the most. The man is quoted as saying, "The Huayra, or however you say this, say it again.
Huayra
is the most complicated project we've ever undertaken. Why?
I think that one you're looking at is for the Roadster.
It is, right.
So the Roadster is... So the Huayra itself took many, many years to complete. They just Horacio wanted to make sure he got it perfect. And the Roadster is different because they didn't want to just take the coupe and take the roof off and call it a day. So it's actually a completely different car that uses a brand new material that they created specifically for that car, called Carbotriax HP52. I had to memorize that. Carbotriax HP52, and it saved about, I believe it's like 137 pounds off the car itself just from that material.
Wow.
So that combined with the carbotitanium, It just makes it it's a totally different car.
Yeah.
It's designed different. It has some Zonda features on it too from the older cars.
Okay.
So there's a few design keys that are different, but yeah.
Huh. Hey, before, because we're running out of time, but I want to make sure, I asked you earlier, we didn't get to the stories.
Sorry.
No, the show's going great. You've been able to drive them,
Yes.
right? Maybe more than once. So what's that like? Give us a story of driving the car.
So I think, the car itself, obviously crazy, fast,
Yeah.
a lot of fun. But I think there's different stages to this car that make it so great. And I think actually driving it and pushing it is one of the things that you have to experience, because then you fall in love with the car all over again.
Did you drift?
I didn't. No. But yeah, I got to drive it a few times and drive it cruising, drive it fast, pushing it, and it's like smile on your face the whole time.
Did you drive it on PCH, which is Pacific Coast Highway here on the West Coast, or on a track?
I did. Yeah, I drove it on PCH a few times.
Was that was people freaking out? Was it crazy?
It's you feel
like a rock
like
star?
a celebrity, but you're not a celebrity. Yeah, people are looking at you, and I think some people are like, "Oh, that's cool," and some people are like, "What the heck is that?"
Yeah,
like I don't know.
Are there any creature comforts inside, like cup holders and steering?
Nope.
Cup holders.
No cup
Does it come with cup holders?
It does have Apple CarPlay, but yeah,
It does. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can get this podcast on there while you're listening.
Yeah.
And good speaker. I mean, is
It's
it
Bluetooth?
Is this sound system good?
It's actually really, really good.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
Well,
no compromises.
I was about ready to put an order in, but without the cup holder,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm
not sure.
Just
I
to let you
retrofitted
know,
mine. I
deal
retrofitted it.
there is a guy with a cup holder, and you can get one done,
Yeah.
and it's carbon fiber, of course.
Of course.
All right. Well, see, we're out of time here. Todd, it's been great having you on the show.
Oh, yes,
Again,
thank
one of
you.
my favorite subjects. And what I like to ask all my guests before they go is, we call it the final thought question. So if you could share with the listeners in your long tenured career in the automobile industry, your ultimate lesson learned.
Ultimate lesson learned, I would have to say, and I tell people this today too, don't burn bridges, especially in the automotive industry. A lot of people think it's really huge. It's not.
Yeah.
And everybody knows everybody. So just be cordial. Just be cool. We're all in it together. You know, automotive industries was one big family. So you know, families fight, but you know, at the end of the day, it's not worth it sometimes, and you never know who you're going to need later on.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know what? That's a great lesson, regardless of the industry. I'm sure it's true in the auto, but
you're right.
It applies everywhere. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks for being a good sport and for sharing your story.
Where can we go see one? Give us the plug for the dealerships. There's two of them now here?
Yes. So Newport Beach, Pagani Newport Beach, 600 West Coast Highway.
Pagani. Just like it's
Pagani. Yeah. Newport Beach. It's right over there on Pacific Coast Highway.
Can I just walk in and drool, or do I have to be vetted first to come in and see the car, touch the car?
You can walk in and drool. Yeah, we allow that.
No touching, though.
No touching. Yeah.
No touching.
So we have the dealership in Newport, and then Beverly Hills is a 207, 209 South Robertson Boulevard, just down the street from Wilshire, and that's our newest dealership. And that showroom has more of our Paganis. It's a little bit bigger of a showroom, so it makes sense. But those are our two standalone dealerships, and we also have a service center here in Orange County. So
I was going to say, where do you get the things worked on? You can't take it down to Firestone or something.
No, definitely not. No, so yeah, we have one of the only service centers as well in the U.S. So.
All right. Thanks again, Tyler. Thanks again for everyone who has turned in. We look forward to being back in studio next week. Cheers.
Thank you.
Tune in next week for the latest edition of the Zandbergen Report, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Catch up on our recent shows by visiting bartzandbergen.podbean.com. The Zandbergen Report is also available on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Interested in being a featured guest on our show, or have a question you'd like to hear us answer? Email podcast@bartzandbergen.com. Bart A. Zandbergen, CFP, and Letitia Burbaum, AIF, are registered investment advisors with Optivest Inc. and registered representatives with Gramercy Securities Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisory services are offered by Optivest Inc. under SEC registration.